Andrew, thanks for doing this interview with me, man. We were trying to figure out, where did we actually meet the first time? We were trying to figure that out.
You know, I was thinking it must have been with Jordan McIntosh when I was playing with him. And I was thinking it might have been at Boots and Hearts or Dauphin, Manitoba. But I know I'd met you at the Junos in Ottawa. I guess that would have been a couple weeks back at the Warner Music Party. We definitely met there.
You know, it's so funny. All those places you did mention, so we probably met at all those places, man.
It's probably like our fifth time, and we're still like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, right?
Yeah, that kind of thing. But what's cool is, man, that you are doing all these things, and finally that you're getting your own solo career. I want to go through this whole history, man, but how does it feel, man, finally being out in front, in the mic, your music, it's all you?
So it feels obviously it feels like very great, It's good to kind of take it by the reins and have like more control, because as a session guitar player, right, you're told to play certain things and you have to like fit the image, but now I'm kind of creating my own image and writing my own music, and it's like the best form of self-expression for me, right? So it's a new kind of adventure for me.
Now, writing your own music means you've got a new single and a new video going on too?
Yes, exactly. So the new single is Lovin' Carefully, which you can get on my website at www.andrewwainesmusic.com. And the single we actually shot down in St. Lucia.
Talk about that, man, because I had a chance to see it and I thought, it's one of the most beautiful videos I've seen, man. Really cool with the music and the scenery. Talk a little bit about that, man.
So we went down there, it was right after my calculus midterm. I went down, right?
You're still doing school?
Yeah, it was right after the calculus midterm, before the finance midterm. That's how I remember it. So it was like in early March, and we went down for 6 days, and it was really warm. Right, that's the first thing you feel, right? Coming from cold Canada, right? Super warm, but we got right to scouting out like good locations for shooting, because there's just so many. So we kind of met up with some locals who helped us out, figure out the right spots, and then after that it was kind of shoot, drive the next location, shoot, drive to the next location. But yeah, I think it turned out real well.
Why the location, and how does it match up with the song? And talk a little bit about what the song's about too.
So Lovin' Carefully is about how nowadays love comes and goes real quick. One day you're in a relationship with this person, next you break up, and then you're with someone else, right? And it's kind of about capturing that moment where someone could be more interested in a relationship than the other person, right? Maybe you're just not on the same page, and that's what Lovin' Carefully is about. And so the location, it suited it because St. Lucia is a happy place. But in a way, it can be an escape to what's really going on, right? Sometimes you'll go to St. Lucia and everything seems okay, but there can be real underlying things going on in a relationship, right? Which you can see in the video where I'm kind of talking to one girl and then there's another girl, right? So it seems all like it's perfect, but like inside there's real things going on, right?
I love that, man, because it sounds like old school and new school can really get into that. But let's get into more about your career, because we mentioned about the Junos in Ottawa, which is where you are from. Talk about the love of music, man, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because you never know if you're getting things right or wrong. Did your brother get you into this, or what?
Yeah, so I think it was like grade 7. My brother started playing guitar at their guitar club at school. So the brotherly competition came out, and I was like, I gotta play now. So I started playing, and it was an instant obsession, and I just really took to it. I started learning a lot of the classic rock records, like CCR, Guns N' Roses, and then from there I was referred to a guitar teacher by the name of Dan Hay, who plays in some local bands in Ottawa. Amos the Transparent, he used to play in this band called The Fully Down, but from there he just really kind of guided me and showed me the ropes of playing guitar, which eventually landed me this gig for playing for that country band, where I eventually met you.
Okay, and that's what I want to get into, because, man, you've kind of jumped into a lot of different genres in the last little while.
Yeah, so I guess my first kind of professional debut in the music scene was playing for rhythm guitar for this country band, and so we did all the big Canadian shows.
You did Boots and Hearts, right?
We did Boots and Hearts. We did Cavendish Beach Festival in PEI. What else did we do? We did Dauphin, Manitoba. We did Ottawa Bluesfest, which was very close to my heart for me, just being from Ottawa, right? And then after that, I just started doing more session work with pop artists in the local area around where I live. And I do still dabble in doing session work, but now, like you said, it's kind of been more focused on my own career.
So when you're doing all this stuff, were you writing music for yourself during all this time? And also, man, how are you handling school, your friends, your parents, family? I mean, that's a lot for a young guy. At least I got to jump from one little thing to the other.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the way I always put it is, remember in like junior school when you get those agendas and then you throw them out right away? It's like, no, I don't need this. I've kind of gone back on that. I have an agenda now and I write everything down just to make sure that I get it done, right? Especially just with school. I teach guitar 4 nights a week and pursuing music career full time, right? So it gets hectic, but as long as I have that agenda and I plan out my days, right? Because I mean, you've got like, if you get rid of sleep, you've got like 18 hours in a day that you can use, right? So it's about maximizing the time you have, right?
True. But you also have two other things. One, because you're young, you're a role model. How do you handle that? And two, I gotta ask you, man, how do you handle the honeys now?
The honeys. I mean, my sister.
Oh, notice he says, bubba, nah, ooh.
My family always keeps me modest about that stuff. We're very like jokey, so whenever that stuff comes up, my sister's always like, "No, Andrew, what are you talking about? You're not good looking." And I'm like, "Okay." My sister's like that. My sister's always trying to bring me down.
Yeah, don't worry. My sister does the same thing too. What's the craziest thing a fan has done to maybe get your attention or something like that?
One fan asked me to sign their shoe. Oh, yeah, which was very, very strange, but I did it.
Yeah, you got to, man. That's the way it works. But also the role model part. I mean, how do you handle that part?
I guess it's obviously flattering being a role model for anyone. But I mean, just when I think about my role models who pushed me to become the man I want to be and a good musician, people like John Mayer, even my manager, I know how that feels to kind of strive for that. So if I can be that person for anyone else, that's like the ultimate compliment.
So we got the single, we got the video. What's going on with EP or album? What's going on with that?
So right now, I've been building a soundproof studio in my basement at home to work on production at home and work with songwriters. I'm actually working with some songwriters down here in Toronto. But basically, we're just working on putting more original music out for fans, building up social media, and an EP will be down the road.
Okay, looking forward to that. And any chance some shows maybe in 2017? Could that be happening?
So right now I have Canada Day at Walter Baker in Ottawa. So I've got, I want to say it's the 1 p.m. slot, but I'm playing that. And then there's the Marmora Fair, it's a little community just outside of Ottawa, but I'm playing that as well.
Very cool, man. Look, website, Twitter, all that social media stuff. Where do we go to follow to see more music and also other shows happening?
So for music, the big spots, Spotify and iTunes, you can find me at Andrew Waines. My website is www.andrewwaines.com, and from there you'll be able to link to the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But in terms of the handles, Facebook, it's Andrew Waines Music. Instagram, it's Andrew Waines_music. A little tricky there, eh? But for Twitter, it's just at Andrew Waines.
Man, good seeing you again. Now we know it is finalized. So the next time we hang, it's going to be like, hey. Thanks for the interview, man.
Thank you so much for having me.